What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and we got conflicting rumors around the Minnesota Vikings possibly setting up a meeting with Jayden Daniels. And the report we got today is that they are going to be getting in contact with the LSU quarterback to set up a meeting. But we got this report yesterday from Darren Wolfson when he was talking on the Score North podcast, and he said the idea was, after his pro day last week, was to spend some one-on-one time with him. But that never happened. Talking about Kevin O'Connell and the Minnesota Vikings. And then he followed that up today with this report when he said the Vikings and Jayden Daniels are working through setting up a meeting with Kevin O'Connell. Darren Wolfson said this on Score North. So we got conflicting rumors, but it does seem like the Minnesota Vikings are going to be setting up a meeting with Jayden Daniels. So on today's show, does Jayden Daniels fit with Minnesota? We'll dive into that here in a second, but I want to get you guys involved here early on today's show. Should the Vikings trade up for Jayden Daniels? It's simple. Just give me a Y for yes or an N for no down in the comment section. Curious to see what you guys have to say. They 100% should. Whether it's Jayden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, or Drake Maye, I have been in the camp. If they get either of those three quarterbacks, they will work out in Minnesota. But specifically Jayden Daniels, I think he would be a great fit. I think he attacks the middle of the field very, very well, and that's what is probably the number one thing you ask for out of a quarterback in the Kevin O'Connell offense. But what I love the most out of Daniels is the progression he had from years 1 to years 2 at LSU. His completion percentage going up a notch. The passing yards going up by almost 1,000 yards. And look at the touchdown to interception ratio. I mean, in 2022, 17-3. In 2023, 40 touchdowns to 4 interceptions for Daniels. And then obviously we do know this. The dual threat ability is there, the most mobile quarterback in this year's class, and he's got that wow factor on the outside, making man miss outside the pocket. And I will make this take. I truly do believe this. The number one quarterback in this year's class will be Caleb Williams. But the second best quarterback will be whoever the hell the Minnesota Vikings end up drafting. And it's most likely going to have to be one of these three guys. You know, you can pencil in Caleb Williams heading to Chicago, but I believe all three of these quarterbacks will work out in Minnesota. And we'll get to those reasons here in a second. But whether it's Drake Maye, Jayden Daniels, or J.J. McCarthy, I think if you are in their camp right now, and whether you're, their agent or, their best friend, you better be hoping that Minnesota drafts, one of these three guys. And why is it the best rookie landing spot right now? Number one, because you're going to be able to throw the ball to the best damn receiver in the National Football League in Justin Jefferson. And just to keep it simple here, nothing helps a rookie wide receiver more than throwing the ball to the best wide receiver in the NFL. When Patrick Mahomes came into the league, he had Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. He had a really good support system, but it was Tyreek Hill that really kind of took his game to the next level. It always helps, Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase. There's countless occasions when these rookie quarterbacks come in, they rely on that wide receiver position, and the Vikings not only have Justin Jefferson, but also Jordan Addison to help out. And I think we forget truly how great Justin Jefferson is. Taking a look at the most yards per game in NFL history, he is at 98.3. He has a 12-yard margin between who is in second, which is Calvin Johnson, then Antonio Brown follows, and then his LSU teammate, actually, Jamar Chase at fourth right now, and then also Julio Jones at 82.5. But the second reason why the Vikings are the best landing spot for a rookie quarterback is because of the head coach. And I am a true believer in Kevin O'Connell. Yes, the play calling got a little shaky at the tail half of the season last year, but I look back into what he did for Josh Dobbs in that Atlanta Falcons game. Kind of setting the scene here. If you guys remember, the Vikings brought in Josh Dobbs, and the plan was to, when they played the Falcons, to just him be the backup quarterback to Jaren Hall. But Jaren Hall went down with a concussion on the first drive of the game, so Josh Dobbs had to step in there with only 2 days of practice, and he went out and he performed like this: 158 yards, 3 total touchdowns, 66 yards on the ground. And also, if you guys remember this game, we got the report after that Kevin O'Connell was in the ear of Josh Dobbs the entire game, going through the reads, because he didn't even look at the playbook before heading into that game. And I believe he's got big-time potential as a head coach. Colin Cowherd calls him the taller Sean McVay, and I don't know if I'm ready to give him the praise of Sean McVay just yet, but I've been very happy with what he's done the first 2 seasons in Minnesota. Would like to see him establish more of a run game, but we'll obviously have to wait and see if Aaron Jones helps that out. But I want you guys to grade Kevin O'Connell as a head coach down in the comments section. How do you feel about him after the first 2 seasons in Minnesota? Give me an A, B, C, D, or F down below. All right, the third reason why a rookie quarterback would be great here in Minnesota is because of Aaron Jones. And I think that pickup in the offseason has kind of flown under the radar. And I know what you might be saying. Well, is Aaron Jones going to fix the damn run game for the Vikings? Well, I sure hope so, because the first two seasons under KOC, the run game hasn't really been there. 97.7 yards per game in 2022. That was 27th in the NFL. And then 91.4 yards per game on the ground this past season. That was 29th. But I want to kick it to this graphic that we have shown on the show before, but I love it when in terms of evaluating a running back. Now, if you're looking at rushing yards over expected from week 16 to the divisional round last season, and rushing yards over expected is PFF. They kind of judge how many yards a running back is supposed to get on a certain play, and then if they get more than that, they obviously give them plus. But if they get negative, they give them minus. And Aaron Jones was by far the best running back in terms of that metric in the NFL last year at plus 171. Then you obviously got guys like James Conner, Derrick Henry, and Pacheco following behind. But I also think this. I don't think Aaron Jones is going to be the only person that's going to help fix this run game. What about Ty Chandler? Now, last season, he didn't blow, us away by any means, but I thought he was pretty solid and he showed that potential. And him as kind of a 1-2 punch with Aaron Jones, I think it could work out. I fully expect the Vikings to be a better rushing offense this season, and it's obviously going to help, a rookie QB. We got more reasons coming up in just a second, but I got to tell you guys about my favorite sponsor we have here on Vikings Now, and that is Prize Picks. What is Prize Picks? It's daily fantasy sports made easy, and even though the football season is not here, the action on the hardwood is heating up. March Madness Final Four kicks off this Saturday. So if you guys want to make lineups for that, make sure you guys do it on Prize Picks. But even if it's not March Madness, it could be the NBA as well. You guys can make lineups in all types of sports, in even esports. They have lineups you can make there for as well. But this is a lineup I'm rolling with for tonight's slate of NBA games. I'm taking the more on Luka Doncic, 33.5 points. More on Jalen Johnson, 16.5. And then also DeJounte Murray. He's been hot as of late. I'm going to take more on 23.5 points for him. Whether you want to fade my picks or ride my picks, I seriously suggest you guys do it at Prize Picks. It's the best daily fantasy sports app out there. It's simple. You pick two or more players, choose more than or less than on their stat projections, and start seeing the cash roll in today. I'll put the link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's show. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS, and we'll give you guys a first deposit match up to $100. Get hooked up today. You guys won't regret it. Trust me, Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. So number 4 for me on a big reason why I think a rookie quarterback is going to work out here is because the other side of the football, I expect a big year out of Brian Flores and his defense because of the additions they made during free agency. Listen, I was a little scared. Losing Danielle Hunter this offseason, it's definitely going to hurt. But you brought in two great edge rushers in Jonathan Grenard and Andrew Van Ginkel, who is also an extremely versatile player as well, which obviously those types of guys flourish in Brian Flores' scheme. Then also Blake Cashman and Shaquille Griffin. I actually thought this was an underrated signing. Obviously, the Vikings still have a big need at the cornerback position, but with Griffin, Byron Murphy, Andrew Booth, and Caleb Evans, I think the Vikings will be able to be better than what they were last year, especially in that secondary. Now, number 5 for me on why a rookie will work out is Christian Darrisaw. I think he's honestly gone underrated as a left tackle in the National Football League. And, heading into last season, I, thought he was going to take that step where he was going to be no doubt top 3 left tackle in the league. But I still think he is definitely top 5. And I think the PFF grades reflect that. Back in that 2020 year when the Vikings won 13 games, he was fantastic. Having a PFF grade of 90.3. Took a little bit of a step back this season at only a 82.4 grade. But he is still fantastic. And overall, I think the Vikings offensive line as a whole is a lot better than people are giving it credit for. You got the 2 bookend tackles in O'Neal and Darrisaw. And then I actually like the move of putting Blake Brandel at left guard. I think it's going to help Garrett Bradbury a lot. And then obviously we know Ed Ingram is a absolute roller coaster at that right guard spot. He's great some games, and then the next he'll just get absolutely cooked. But I do think the Vikings offensive line will be pretty solid for a rookie quarterback to step into. But overall, guys, I just can't wait for the NFL draft. Whether it's J.J. McCarthy, Drake Maye, or Jayden Daniels, whoever the Vikings walk away with at the quarterback position, I think they're going to work out, and I just can't wait to see who it is. I'll be having a video here in the future about who I specifically want, so make sure you guys do tune in for that. But if you guys made it to the end of today's show, I suggest you guys hit that subscribe button. Clearly, we're doing something you like here, so make sure you guys hit that sub button. Lock us in as you go to Vikings YouTube channel, and we'll see you guys next time. Skol Vikes.